shoulders, knees and toes? Knees and toes. Who needs those when you've got arms? Tell me if you've heard this story before. A competitive versus game with attitude and colorful characters that relies on the potential of a single gameplay mechanic that has a much greater online playtime and less of a focus on single player content. I am of course referring to 2013's Dive Kick. Dive Kick! A stupid, silly little in-joke on the fighting game community. It was less about memorizing moves and performing combos and more about using the only thing you know how to do. Kick diagonally. It's in your blood, it's what must be done. Unconventional? Yeah. Hype as hell when the pressure comes from finding an opening? Absolutely. I feel the same thing applies to Ahms over here. It's the classic one-on-one boxing match but with zoom punches, and more zoom punches. But don't worry, there's also an air game, so it's a bit more. Many refer to this new Nintendo IP as the next big step from Wii Boxing or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Personally, it reminded me of the Virtual Boy game Telro Boxer, a rock'em sock'em game that allowed you to control both arms to either punch or block through two different D-pads. Yeah, this was a controller that existed. I guess it's no coincidence now that the Switch has two sets of face buttons. Lessons learned. What we do in life forever echoes in eternity, and this will be the only time you'll hear something worthwhile the Virtual Boy did. So yeah, I was pretty pumped about this game from the moment I saw it at Nintendo's fancy Switch presentation. Splatoon was their first big foray into a new world and character designs and new territory for a competitive team-based shooter. Ahms follows suit in that dream of a new scene. You want flashy, slick character designs? You want new territory into the competitive fighting game? You want an open beta and trickling content, essentially making this a fighting game subscription? The spotlight is all on Ahms, and Nintendo has caressed me with them. Though, be careful, cause I'm awfully ticklish.
I was a wimp before Anchor Arms. Now I'm a jerk and everybody loves me.
The brilliance of Ahms' conception, in the same vein of Splatoon, is its creation before its design. Splatoon considered the concept of splattering territory and traveling around your paint as the initial gameplay concept, and then thought about the character design next. Squids and kids just so happened to fit perfectly with this video game. For Ahms, it was the same kind of deal. They wanted an overhead fighting game, simple as that. They mainly focused on the design of the arms first, then they decided what kinds of characters would be handling said arms. And it turned out pretty well. I love how there's such a focus on verticality for these characters. Much like how outstretched and bendy the arms can get, the fighters themselves are tall, often buff, and padded with loads of boxing gear. You ever see those stereotypical buff athletes in football? Well, imagine if they were gladiatorial superstars in a noodle bowl arena with the crowd and sports fans alike chanting that glorious hymn. I'm not a sports fan, by the way. I just get it. For how long and stretchy their arms can get, the fighters needed traits to suit that stretchiness. How about a man made of springs, or a girl made of ribbons, or chains, or snakes, or noodles, or, you know, just make a mech to do all that stuff for you. Mechanica's my favorite, by the way. The coolest design, however, is Helix, a biological creature who previously starred with Robin Williams, that has double helix arms. Now that's a clever design. Hey, Bayonetta called. She wants her witch time back. What's cool about these new age competitive games with colorful characters is how backstories or anything lore related is an extension of the game in itself. Sure, Overwatch doesn't have a dedicated story mode, it's the kind of game that doesn't really need it, but looking into outside sources can reveal a lot about the characters or places that you've come to know. Ahms does this in a really creative way through background context, a lot of markings and documents around specific character arenas, the matchup specific dialogue, dialogue from the announcer during Grand Prix, even this one picture frame hidden behind Mechanica's stage showing her sister and Max Brass in a younger time. It feels like there's a lot hidden behind ARMS. This game seriously doesn't need any more explanation, but this shit is so mysterious and fascinating that it's great.
For using their extendable arms as professional fighters in the combat sport also known as ARMS.
ARMS takes a lot of cues on how competitive online games are being executed these days, from having drop-in, drop-out lobbies to having ranked matches, even emulating loot boxes with the opportunity to gain more arms through these gift sections. It's that kind of multiplayer action game where it's simple on paper, but takes time to learn through execution and practice. Though I guess it's because of the meta of dodge, punch, dodge, punch, that I can see why a lot of people didn't get ARMS at first or didn't consider it their type of game. If you're gonna play ARMS, you gotta be super into the intricacies of the combat, the one-on-one rivalry, and in general, consider it a long-time investment that you can train in 4 hours.
4 hours! 4 hours on normal! It's 4 hours!
It's punching dudes. What more can be said? Well, stuff like this. You think you can just do a straight jab and live on with your life? No. You can turn it up, curve it down, control is in your arms in mid-punch. You wanna hit that voluptuous body? Well, you gotta earn it. We're talking dashes and an aerial game that little Mac wishes he had. Jump on a car, aim at their disgusting head. On point. Block those punches. Parry dash. Bobbing and weaving through those elastic bands. We've got dempsey rolls coming up in this game. How about elemental powers, son? That's right, the ARMS gods themselves have given the gift of fire, electricity, and explosions. How about those arms that are so good that they're so good? Revolver arms and a homie is where it's at for the hovering Mechanica. You a standard boxing glove guy? Or do you want an umbrella with that fist? The combinations are as gigantic of a number as the amount of times you breathe air. HD Rumble in your fancy little Switch game, huh? Well, little did you know that philosophers and ancient artifacts have discovered the true purpose behind HD Rumble. It is a mere human abbreviation for Hype Dempsey Rumble! What about the best grab game that has ever existed? Let me tell you, from this keyboard that has typed these godforsaken words, to the recording device that I speak upon, from the room that has contained this legend, and the building and neighborhoods, every province and vicinity, every country and ocean, every planet to exist, every multiverse to ever happen in this galaxy, other dimensions, as we travel back in time or to the future to alternate timelines and versions of ourselves, and all the way to the meaning of life itself. Let it be known, grabs are f***ing awesome. So you could just go for ranked and beat anything past level 5 and maybe you'll be the best. Maybe mom will let you put it on the fridge, but real champions are found in the party room. This gladiator ring sets up the perfect competitors based on how the stars and planets are aligned as you're holding your Nintendo Switch. One-on-ones or 3 or 4, team up with a string attached to you, or go for volleyball target practice or the hoops where the grab game decides who wears the pants. Let me ask you one more thing before you continue this video. Do you wear the pants? So, okay, let's look at it like this. A universe where survival is all a matter of how stretchy your arms can get. You entered someone's territory, you face the consequence of your fans clashing with their fans. You reflect to yourself in the back of your mind that this would not be possible without the mask that you don Your ability to live in this game depends on the masking of your reality, of your identity as an athlete, as an idol to these mindless creatures. But you keep moving forward. Continue finding openings. Continue facing people greater than yourself. Getting angry, come back for more. This game leaves you in a different place than where you originally were. This is the true meaning of Christmas. This is the ultimatum of life itself. This is why we have arms. So yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, Jesus.